Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and today we're going to do mail art. I start at noon, but I came on a few minutes early just to welcome everybody in. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. The cleanup from fireworks wasn't so bad this morning. The neighbors that did fly off fireworks last night were actually nice and um, cleaned up their mess. I only saw one or two canisters still out in the street, which is a miracle because there are usually some spots where they just leave the whole mess in the street. So I have not left the house though. That's just my street. So I hope everybody's having a great day. We're going to do some mail art today. I've done this in the past and I'm out of fancy envelopes. So you're just going to need some envelopes. It doesn't have to be large manila envelopes. Hi, JL. Hi, Joyce. It doesn't have to be any kind. These are envelopes that a lady gave me that knew somebody that did the cards in some stores. And what they do is they just throw the envelopes away and they send the cards back to the maker. They don't send the envelopes back. So if you can get in contact with somebody that does the cards in stores and ask her if she's got some envelopes she's going to throw away, that's a way to get some envelopes. I did open some of these and I didn't have perfect luck. So I figured I'd show you how I opened them. I do have some that have a few tears, but by the time we paint these and decorate them and then we fold them, back up to put them together and glue this down, you won't be able to see that. But if you want it to be pristine, take a whole lot more time. So what I did is I started to just try to rip them apart, and that's when I made the mess out of a lot of them. Hi, Nashua. So I just got my heat gun. And heated it up a little bit. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. That did pretty good. It pulled a little bit of paper. Let me do this other side. Just don't set the paper on fire. That's never good. And the more you use the heat gun, the hotter it gets. So got a little bit that's pulling funny. Getting kind of thin there. There we go. So then it's open. And that way you can color all of the outside of it and then just put it back together and glue the bottom back in place with your glue. And then just add some tape or some glue up there when you seal the envelope to use it. So that's what we're going to do today. You just finished watching Dee Dee. Well, welcome, Ann. And so that's the envelopes. And then what I have, I'm not going to use any of my good paint that's still juicy and all. I have a couple. Look, I had these all in a basket, but then I needed the basket for magazines. But these are just ones that are older, have just a little bit of paint still in them. See, this has got some more random things. And paint that I'd like to use up. So I figured let's just use that. I am not going to pull out the gel plate today. We're just going to grab some of this paint, and I'm going to use things. Sorry for the cat hair that keeps showing up, but I do have 5 cats. So yeah, I'm going to use stuff from my bin of stuff. Oops, hang on. This is just a random bin of stuff. And I've shared this before. I've got some Frere Rocher packaging because it makes really cool uniform circles. This is just a roll of some kind of floral trim that I leave in a roll and just use it. The typical things to open jars and hot mitts, silicone. I've got just random things on this plate. This is a Bondo spreader. You can buy those in a set of 3. This is one of those head massagers I got at the dollar store. Lids from your different, that's peanut butter. Tape inserts, random stuff that I have from around the house. It's got bubble wrap. It's just got all kinds of stuff. And that's what I thought I'd use today. This is the coolest paper. If you get some of this in packaging to cut up and use as a stamp, it gives you a really cool looking thing. What we're going to do is basically we're just going to paint these envelopes. And then what I usually do, once I have them painted, you can use them just like that. Or you can go in with Posca pens and markers and doodle on them when they're completely dry so you don't lose, your markers. Or you can actually, what I like to do is put a little character on it. I've done a baby's head looking up with a curly Q on his head. I wish I had some pictures of those. I've done snowmen looking up from the corner of the envelope. I've done gnomes on envelopes. I just add a little something to the front of the envelopes. Now, something Mary does that if you wanted to cover the entire front side with a picture that they could easily just cut out, you can put the address on the back. The mail's not going to carry. The only thing they matter about is that wherever you put the address where it's going, it needs to be very clear for the machines. So what you do is you just slap a white label on the back. So here you've closed your envelope up all the way, and you can put an address label right here, put your stamp there, and then the art on the back on the solid side would be fine. So I just wanted to share that. So I don't know who all is playing along or whatever, but let me say hello. Good morning, Janet Nash and Janet Baum and Ann Lar and Gail and Joyce, Brenda, Leah. I think that's everybody that's here for right now. I hope everybody's having a good day and didn't overdo and get too much sun yesterday. We had a quiet day of revisiting our collection of books, which I have a duplicate of a book. I'm going to do a giveaway for USA only, unfortunately, because of the cost of shipping would be just too much for me right now. Usually I just leave it open worldwide, but right now we can't because funds aren't there. So I hope that's okay with you guys. All right. So who all is playing along? Are you going to open your envelope up so you can easily paint the whole thing? And then you don't even have to worry if you get some on the back because it's going to be inside the envelope, right? Yes. These will be mailed just like this. When they're done, I'll just treat it like it's an envelope. Put stuff in there, seal it, and I would just put the address label back here. If I'm going to do some art on this side, basically what we're going to do right now is I'm just going to do fun backgrounds that you could use just as fun backgrounds. But I usually like to put a little something, either like if I do somebody looking up, I usually put it in this corner, the lower left, or on the bottom. I've done words that kind of go out and in across the front of an envelope. There's just so much you can do to decorate an envelope. I've done flowers on them and everything. But that's a good idea to have whatever you put on the front holding a sign with the address. And you can mail your envelope in this orientation, but they charge you extra to do that because that changes the way that the envelope has to be handled. All right, so I'm just going to start playing, and if you want to play along, you can. Again, I'm using the paints I'm trying to use up. And we're just going to do some random colors. Let's pull out a couple different colors of this blue. This one, you can hear I've even added a bunch of water to. This one's still on the thick side. So what we'll do is we'll combine the two and just put some of this down. And then we'll put some of this watery stuff down. And I'm going to stand up because that's easier for me. And then you just take your handy dandy Bondo spreader that you can find in at the automotive stores. And then you can just do like that and just spread that paint around. I'm just spreading it to get kind of an even spread. I'm not worried about covering every inch of it either. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this one up and set it aside and grab another envelope and do the same thing with a couple different colors, because my goal is to use this stuff up. Let's see. A couple different purples maybe on this one. And we might pick up some of that blue because I'm not going to clean the Bondo spreader between colors. I'm just going to keep the colors that I've used off to the side. And if we need to reuse them, they'll be right there. So this has still got some blue on it. So that might appear again. See how the blue still appeared? Okay, I'm going to pick this one up and set it aside to dry. I've got like 6 envelopes I'm going to do. So just scrape some paint. I got a couple oranges. I don't really care for orange too much, but some people like it. Ooh, that's juicy. That might be the last of that one. And that would be okay with me because that's the object of this, is to use up some of this paint that I've had just bits and bobs of. That one I about covered the whole thing. And that's okay too. All right, I'll set that there and I'll grab a couple more. Might pick some of that up with this. Okay. This is a way to use that paint up that you've had forever. And it's just messy and fun. There's no right or wrong. And it has an ugly phase, just like most art ends up having. Just bear with it. It all evens out. Got a couple more. And then we'll do the next step with whatever we have. I've got some of this eco-friendly paint that was from Tuesday morning. And I think it may have gone too far to the dark side. but we'll see. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to just use it up. Something I thought about doing, I have a bunch of canvases. I thought about going out in the yard and just spreading paint on all this old paint on some canvases, like do color families, and then those would be backgrounds for something else. This one, if you get to mixing too much, you might end up with brown. But if we just do like that and not worry about it, we end up with something like that that will develop. It'll develop. It'll be fine. Last one. Let's see. A couple blues. This one's a pearl. Well, I don't have any wet ones, so I'm making a mess in the danger zone. I have all kinds of bubble wrap too behind me. This one appears to have a glob trying to come out. Yep, a big one. That's another reason to use this paint up. Use it up. Be done with it. Another way, if you have a gel plate, you can always just gel plate all this old paint. The problem with that is if you get a blob, then it can get on your brayer, and that's never a pretty thing. All right, so I'm going to go back to the blue-green one we started with. And they get real soft, but as you build up color, it'll all work out. Let's grab one of the other colors that we used and maybe sponge in the areas that are, or do something else. Let me get some sponges. I forgot to do that earlier. I did remember to put the phone on airplane mode so it won't ring today. All right, so I'm just going to grab one of these other colors. Maybe put a blob on my drop paper, cover up some of my doodling. And just sponge in the areas that didn't get any paint the first time around. And if you're using a lot of paint, that's good, right? Because this is the paint we want to use up. And if you get too much, you can always put some on a different envelope. Keep thinking I've got enough out. Hi, Dar. Ardy Dar. Hi, Angie. I heard you took a tumble, Angie. You okay? I heard you tell Dee Dee you took a tumble. All right, so that covered up those. This almost looks like it could be a forest scene has started here. And then we went and did the orange one, which if you remember right, it's pretty covered. It's got a couple spaces here, so we could pick one of the colors we already have if we wanted to. It's got some of this light purple on it. I might do this other purple. Let's see here. Or pinky purple. They call it vivid violet. That's the color of my bathroom, except my vivid is vivid purple, I think. No, vivid violet. Put a little of this. Just on the edges here and there. This is just a layer. Maybe we'll put a little bit more up in here. You don't have to put a ton of it to add a layer. A layer doesn't mean it has to cover the entire thing. That's the important thing to remember. It's a layer. It's not meant to cover everything. All right. I'm going to bring back, and I'm not going to clean my sponges. I'm going to just put cools in one pile and the more warmish colors in the other. That way I only have to dirty 2 sponges at a time, unless I want to use something like black or white, and then I'll get a clean sponge. But this could be pretty. This is just a way to use up all that paint that's just got a tiny little bit taking up space in your art room or on your art carts, like I have my art carts. And I've got the one pulled up right close tight behind me here. I might have to move it because I can't work in a tight space. It freaks me out. All right. I'm going to just shove this out of the way because I got the bin off from it that I wanted. Oh, that gives me some air. Much better. All right, so we did that one, and we did this one, and we did this one. So let's do this one here. And hi, Dar. Yep, I've had that happen too when I lived in Greenville and I took everything to the post office because I didn't trust to put the mail out at the little house because we had people looking in our mailbox all the time, which I'm surprised anything survives. Sometimes we'll go up to the cottage just to see, stop by there. And Adele will not have gotten the mail for like a year. The mailbox will be full with a note abandoned, but the mail still gets delivered. Now see, this one's just about empty. Don't throw it out yet. You can still get that last little bit and make circles with the bottle. Just backgrounds. That's all we're doing right now. This almost looks like a sunset, doesn't it? All right. A bit of the bottle there. Okay, here's this one again. Let's see. Let's put some of the blue-green on here. Yep, you can still make something with it. Don't throw it out yet. And I'm going to put a little bit of this blue here. Whoops. In with that. But the goal is to kind of throw some of these bottles away today, because I need more space more than I need to hold on to this stuff. This one we didn't get very good coverage before. And mine always, all of these, every time I do these envelopes, they go through what I call the butt ugly stage. All you got to do is keep going. Just keep going. Don't give up on it. Don't throw it in the trash. Even if you end up with something you still hate, you can rip it up and use it for collage. It can still be collage fodder. The goal is to use the paint. It's not necessarily to end up with something that you had a goal for that didn't quite work out. Or you can keep working on it and make it into something that'll work out. It's all relative, right? All right. Oh, who's having dinner? Oh, Janet. I should have known it was Janet. This is her dinner time. What? Nerve interrupting your dinner. Okay, here's another one that's almost to the, I can make circles with that. Don't throw it out stage. So we'll turn it upside down. So all the good paint gets down there to the bottom. Enjoy your dinner, Janet. I am just picking. My uncles would tell you I'm a smart ass. That's what they would say. Most of them are gone now, but they would tell you that. You can be a real smart ass. It's like, oh, well, I got it from somewhere, didn't I? Okay. Let's bring some of that up here on the page. There we go. Coming together. Okay. So now we need to another step. What do you guys want to do next? Do you want to add some kind of shapes? I'm not going to add any paper. Everything's going to be done with this paint. So do we want to stencil next, or what do we want to do next? Yep. And my drop paper down here, for anybody that doesn't know, when this gets full, if it's not even, like I've told Anne, I'll come on and I'll just stencil over the areas that still need something. And then I cut this all up, and it's just drop paper. Cut it up and turn it into card fronts. Stencil or stamps. All right, well, let's stamp with something from here. From our bin of stuff. So we'll stamp with something from here. Let's see. I've got this huge bubble wrap, and I've got some smaller bubble wrap. I've got some flip-flops. Let's stamp with the baby flip-flop. That's always good. And if you hit up any after summer sales anytime this year, look for flip-flops. Because not all flip-flops have the same tread pattern. Just letting you know. You can find some really cool looking things. And you can get children's sizes and the stuff is closer together. So never be afraid to use that. Let's see. This one's nearly dry. So let's see. What would be a good color here? Let's see what I got. What do we want to stamp on here with? I've got some white here. This feels almost full, but I think there's a problem with it, is why it made it into the problem child phase. Anne has some fresh bubble wrap. I got some neon green. Let's do the baby pink since it's a baby shoe. I don't know how much of this I have, but we'll put some out over here. And then I can just get the baby to stamp into it. Remember, it's a layer. So that one got some baby pink. I'm going to use the same flip-flop, but a different color from the box. Let's see what happens here. Probably get some of this pink still. Oh, some postcards just left the yard. All right, so it's just a layer. See, it's just a layer. Hopefully the cats won't come through and step in my layers, but we'll see. Let's put some more of this up here. Maybe I'll use something else now. You can wash your stuff off. I usually just throw it back in my bin of stuff. And the only thing I do clean off is my foam stamps. Let's see here. Oh. Here we go. If you apply your paint to your bubble wrap with a sponge, you'll get a clearer circle pattern than if you stamp in it, but we're just making envelopes today. All right, set that aside. And let's just grab something else from here. I'm getting prompts. Add circles, stencils. Stencil sounds good, or stamps. Finger painting, use a root vegetable to stamp with celery. Ooh, we could do that. All right, let's. Uh-oh. This one may require a bumblebee on it. blue-green shows up good on these other colors. And it's okay to kind of mix a little bit if the base color has dried, you know, so you're not mixing, you're actually applying it on top. If you make thin little layers that don't get it real sopping wet, you can put a lot more on it. So if you put just thin layers and wait, it's not always easy to do the weight part of it. This one's looking like a hot mess. You could take and stick it in some of your paint piles if you're starting to get thick on your paint piles. That'd be truly random what you get. There you go. Add a little bit more color. This one's looking more rainbowy now. There we go. We'll do some stencils next. Let me finish stamping on here. Oh, here's that piece of stuff. Why not? It's already looking like a hot mess, so why not take it further? Uh-oh. This one may be too far gone to use. Ooh. This one's more like one of those paint daubers. It's really thick. If I added some water to it, it would probably be better. But all right, I'm going to take and pick some of this crusty, thick paint up and just daub it on here. I use this as a stamp. See if I can pick up any of it with this. This almost looks like it needs graffiti on it. Looks like one of those walls that's covered with paint. There was a skate park in Greenville where the kids all spray painted around. It was an old abandoned mill site. That doesn't look too bad. I think we've got one more that needs something stamped on it. I think I'll get a bigger flip-flop. Oh, there's two stuck together there. Uh-oh, bubble wrap had shallow bubbles, did not stamp well. That, when they're real shallow like that, and you might have to just do the Cindy Utter trick of using just a sponge and sponge it on real light. Now see, this flop's got a pattern on this side that looks like bricks, and then on this side it looks like this. So I'm gonna flip it over. Oh, got too much paint. Have to remember to spread the paint out. Sorry if that's loud. All right. Throw the flip-flops back in the bin, and I'll grab a stencil. I kept the little pack of stencils right here. So I was thinking stencils that are more open. Like, I like these bubbles. This is just a little brag book from the dollar store is what I keep my stencils in. Oh, I love this spiral. All right, I have 6 envelopes. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do this on one. 5. We'll do the stars, I guess. 6. And I'll just throw them out in the sink when we get ready. All right, so I'm just going to randomly grab one of these and randomly grab a stencil. I'm not going to try to match anything. Thought there was paint on the floor, but it was just something else. I don't know what. So this one's getting the stars. I'm going to take them just as they are. And did you know there's a right and a wrong side to your stencils? The back of them is very smooth. There's actually a little indent along the top side of them. So if you put this down like this, that's how the paint oozes under them. If you put them so the flat side is down, you're less likely to get the paint oozing up under the bottom. Well, these are stars. Do we have any yellow? We have some gold. Inca gold. My preference is the 24 karat gold. I'm not going to use those again right now. So let's see what we have. Might not be enough in here to do gold stars. Oh, we've got some coming out. There we go. That's another one that's really extra close. Another reason I wanted to do this. I knew I'd end up with some good results of having stuff used up. Now this is a metallic paint. I'm not going to get, really good coverage, but you know what you can do is you can go around these when they're dry. You can go around them with like a Posca pen or a marker or a big pen and just bring them out even more. And as we go, each one of these envelopes will start telling me what else it wants on the front of it. So if I get one that looks kind of foresty, I would say that needs a fairy or a troll or a gnome. This needs some kind of alien, I think, or maybe a little princess or something like that. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Maybe we'll put one little star over here on the back. All right, we'll set this one aside. See how that's metallic? Woo! All right. And I'll take my tissue and I'll just wipe the rest of this off. And it'll leave stars behind on my drop paper. See if I can get any more. And that way I don't have to clean it. I can just wipe it and go. All right, we'll set that one aside. This one is going to get bricks. And I think I want to mix something with the gold I have there. I'm going to put a little of this Santa red in it. If I can get this out here. Don't need a lot, Becky. Oh, I'm using this up, but there's still a lot of paint left. We'll just kind of work these two together. And then we'll just put these little bricky looking things on here. And you don't have to use the entire stencil. You can use just a portion of it. This is making me think of the board. I don't know why. That's because it's cube shaped and it's got all these compartments. And again, you don't have to use the entire full-on stencil. Just use parts of it. And this is usually how I get one of those pictures of my hands that's got the paint all over it is by doing this. All right, I'll set that down. And see, I can wipe this off with my sponge because I'm not worried about dirty in the inside of the envelope. That's just added decorations that you don't see. So if I lay my next envelope on this, this will probably still be wet, and I don't care. All right, there's that one. Next, and I'm getting stuff on this envelope with my fingers. I'm using tissues instead of wet ones. Let's put some of these over in this water I've got. Next stencil is this one. This one's got some crud on it, but that's okay. I'm going to put this at an angle. Got a different purple here. Maybe I'll put a dot of white in with it. Oh, this needs to be splatters. That white's got to be splatters. Scott always picks on me about my computer having paint on it. And I'm like, you do know what I do, right? Oh, he's such a hoot. The whole reason for the bookshelf was to get my gardening and knitting and needlework books all out of the unit that's in our den so that he would have more room for his books, because his books were double stacked. And so he fixed his bookshelf, and it's still got shelves that are double stacked. He said, I think I have a book problem. I was like, no, we have a bookcase shortage. That's the only problem. And people are asking where we purchased that. We didn't. We built it and we stained it. It's painted with a paintbrush, but what I used is an acrylic stain. You can get it at either Lowe's or Hobby Lobby. And the reason it's good for bookcases instead of paint is it does not get sticky. So when you put books on your bookshelf and they're heavy, they don't get stuck to the shelf with this stain. They just slide in and out. Now, mine's a little rough because we used exactly what we had on hand, which was just some plywood. And, but it works perfect for my books, and that's all that matters to me. And the plans came from, I think, Woodsmith. And I think they're still on the woodsmith.com website. Ours came in a book, which we actually happen to have 2 copies of, but I'm not sure where our spare copy is at the moment. I'm going to put just a little bit right here in the middle. It's kind of fade. All right, so there's that one. So if you have a handy dandy husband, or you know somebody that does woodwork, the plans are out there for it. And we will be giving the spare book away, I think, if, Scott's here, because he wants to be part of the giveaway, because it was a book he found and we've been using. And then when he was cleaning last night and putting his books up, he found another book with this awesome, it's a TV hutch, but that's not what I want it for. I want Scott to put shelves in it so I can store yarn and fabric in it. I'd like 2 of those, one for fabric and one for yarn. And I would like to get my stash whittled down. I'd like to go through the stuff in here and purge the stuff I haven't touched in like 5 years. Just get rid of it. So yeah, I may be doing a purge. All right. Next stencil is the spiral, and it's going on this one. And I'm going to grab another bottle from my box, because we don't want anybody left out. And I'm going to kind of mix this with this Color Shift Black Gold, just for something different. all this paint is getting so thick. Not a good time to wake up, little boy. You stay asleep. For anybody who doesn't know, the little boy is a cat. And I'm not going to say his name because that'll make him get up. Yeah, so if you do mail art, keep in mind you're making somebody's day all along the way. They'll say, oh, that's so pretty, all the way it travels. When it's not in a bag. Every time it's seen, somebody's going to say, wow, that's so cool. Remember to work some of your design off the edge of your pages and always make it look like it continues on forever. I almost feel like I need to put one on that other tab over here. A little something, something. There we go. Remember, I want to leave room so I can paint something on this if I decide to. Oh, Gail had to go. Bye, Gail. Sorry I missed her going. Hopefully she heard me. If not, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll wipe this off here. Get tissue and wipe some of this off this way. Good enough. Good enough. All right. Next stencil is squares. This has every color in the book already on it. I've got all these browns, but I don't want to use brown today. Let's use this. My weird lady's all covered in paint now. I'm sorry, lady. Didn't mean to cover you up. And yes, I'm using the dirty sponge. Remember, don't use all of the stencil. You don't have to. You can just use some random bits in it. It'll still look cool. This reminds me of chiclets. Remember chiclets? Do they still make chiclets? Probably telling my age talking about chiclets. I just don't see the gum and candy selection that we had as we were kids. I guess because the country's trying to get healthier, but I don't see it in everything we eat. I reposted this thing about school lunches in different countries. Oh my God, I want to go to lunch in like Spain or Italy. Their lunches look amazing. Ours was a real sad, laden level thing full of nothing but carbs. It was the all white plate, mashed potatoes, corn, chicken nuggets. All that stuff is so bad for us. You know, they feed us that stuff to make us sick, so we have to take medicine. You guys realize that, right? I'm just saying. All that prepackaged stuff is really bad for you. That's why you end up on metformin, dialysis, and everything else. Right now, we're just all going to have to eat what we can find because nobody can afford groceries right now. It's crazy. I'm going to get a clean sponge. That one's just too gross for words. Last is this, and I feel like we need to use a blue for bubbles. And I'll get another sponge. I'll be cleaning sponges for an hour. Uh-oh, this one doesn't sound like it's got much in it. Let's put it with the purple up here. Ew. Very watery. What time are we at? 1 o'clock. Oh, that's cool. It mixed with the purple. Oh my goodness. Look at those cool bubbles. This one may get a baby painted on it, with a little curly Q at the top of its head. I need to get my butt out and get to walking, because that's another thing. Being on the internet is fun, but I'm on my soapbox today. I'm sorry. We need to get moving, or we're going to die. That's so cool. I love it. We'll put a little bubble right here. Set that one aside to dry. Maybe put some bubbles down here before I do that. The old adage, you are what you eat, is really true. And I like to bake, so that's never a good thing for a diabetic. There is so much liquidy paint up in this. So the drop paper will be real pretty too. All right. There's stencil. All right. You need a new sponge now? Yeah, I've got a bowl of really nasty, dirty sponges. All right. Somebody had said circles. So we're going to add more circles. And what I've got for circles is all kinds of stuff. Different kind of top lids. There's a glue lid. There's PVC pipe. There's the insert from tape. You can get circles with an empty spool. That actually looks like a wagon wheel. Another thing you could add is some curlers. And I see this set of curlers at the thrift store all the time. So let's keep one of the curlers. We'll keep the fat PVC. This has got a buildup of paint on it. Makes real fat, chunky circles. But that's okay. We're going to add circles to every single one. I'm going to take a minute and put all the paint back in the box. Just shove it all back in here. Except for that real liquidy white. And maybe this blue, because it's pretty wet. So, let's see. We have scraped paint. We have stamped with a household item. And we have sponged paint. What was the other? And we stenciled. So that's how many prompts. I lost count. All right. We scraped paint. We sponged. We stamped. And we stenciled. We've only done 4 prompts. How did I have all of these in here? Very carefully, right? All right. I'm going to get all this stuff out here. All right, now I feel like I got a fresh place that I can put all my circles. All right. Let's grab the first envelope again. And we're going to add circles. Everybody's getting some circles. I just don't know what color or any of that. This one's got stars. So I don't want to do too big a circle. So I think I'll use the glue lid. Do I have 6 different circles? I do. So I'll do different circle on each one. But I think I'm going to do just one color of paint so it kind of flows from each one, even though it doesn't matter. Let's see if we can use some of this cream paint for our circles. And maybe let it mix with this soppy blue that's on the table already. So since we're going to use the same thing, I'm going to leave it up there. Just dip it in the paint a little bit. See if I've got my... It's picked up a little of the blue, so the blue might reappear. And we'll try not to go on the stars, because I want to be able to draw around the stars. Remember to work off the edge of your paper. Oh, there's stars there. Overlap them a little bit. This one actually has a hole in the paper, but it'll be all right. I think that's good enough for that. I will wipe because I'm using some real soppy paint. I'm going to wipe some of that off. Throw that lid back in. We'll set this aside to dry. And we'll use some other circle on this one. Maybe the curler. After this prompt, I say prompt, but I'm not writing them down. So if you want to play this game and you're just watching them, you need to stay around because I'm not going to take the time to put them all in there. I'm not feeling it today, guys. All right, so now we're going to say the curler is done. Wipe some of that paint off so I'm not making a mess in my dish too badly. Oh, stuck my thumb in that circle. All right, let's do this one on here. This one looks like it needs to have some flowers or some sort put on it. Don't forget the old go off the edge of the paper here and there. There we go. Maybe just stamp until it won't stamp no more, so it looks like it's in different layers. There we go. So that was the thread spool. That's what you do there. Hi, Kathy Whitney. Good morning. It's 1 o'clock here, but I know it's a lot earlier for you. All right. Next is got the color shift paint on it. I might have to put some more of the cream paint out. We could do these around our other. And see, these could be the center of flowers, and you could just add petals on the outside. I like that idea. All right, we've got 2 more to do here. 2 more envelopes. I'm probably not going to paint on these today. I might do some before next week, and then on the very last one I do, I'll paint with you guys. So I'll save something in my mind to paint on one of them next week. Mainly want to just get some backgrounds down. I think I'm going to need some more paint put down. Then you can just keep stamping with it until it doesn't stamp anymore to fill in if you want to. I'll wipe that off. That's got such a buildup of paint on it, it doesn't really, it just makes little pudgy fat circles. All right, now we're back to this one here. I think I need some more paint out for this. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I'm already over an hour. Ugh. I just can't go as long as I used to do. For one thing, I'm standing up right now. My back is starting to hurt. Another reason I need to get out and do more. I don't know which medication I'm on that the sun really bothers me. I got so burned last time, and I cannot find a sunscreen that just doesn't burn me when I put it on. And the heat, I don't know. That's probably just my age showing. The heat hurting me so badly. That is a blob right there. A blob of paint. And most of that's going to be covered up inside the envelope. And you can make little curves by just setting your little curved lines. Set the edge down. Good enough. Here we go. So now we've got all this white we can stamp around. Spread it out so it'll dry. All right. What do you guys want to add next? Let's see. Hi, Di. How are you? The spools look great. You too can do spools. All you got to do is empty a spool of thread. All right. Let's do some lines. And you can do that with a credit card. I'm going to do it with my Bondo spreader because why not? I think I'll spread this out some more. Your drop paper is just like free art material. I need something that'll make some really cool lines. This is a Mars Black, and I don't know how bad off it is. This was another Tuesday morning thing. I just keep hearing Tuesday mornings closing completely now. Okay. I'm never going to use up some of this paint. It's like they just go and go and go. So I don't want real fat lines. So I'll try to spread this out a little bit and run my thing through it. Just the indication of a mark. And don't ask me, I like groups of 3. I don't know. So that's all I'm going to add. Like I said, you don't have to cover the whole thing with whatever you're doing. You don't have to go up and down either. You can go diagonals. You can do them real close together. You can do them far apart. You can cross hatch them. Just make marks. Just play. These are just backgrounds. Remember? Backgrounds. That got a little blobby, but they'll dry eventually. Hopefully without a cat stepping in it. Oh, it's just stuck my thumb in a wagon wheel. Oh, Rose, hello. Thank you for stopping in. So wonderful to see you pop in. Rose and I chit chat on Facebook all the time, but it's so nice to have you pop in. Thank you. I have been having some horrible times with my right eye, the one that's got the enlarged nerve endings. It wakes me up and it feels just like somebody has thrown sand in my eye. Absolutely hurts to no end. And the eye doctor was just like, oh, that's dry eye. So I'm like, I use the drops. Put a drop in my eye every night. I don't know what else to do. Tell him how much it really bothers me. All right, I'm going to switch to a different color for the last 3. I'll spread this black out a little bit. Not saying I won't have some black show back up in my next group of lines, but that won't show on there. Let's do some copper ones. That will be okay if it has some black in it too. Again, I'm picking colors that are just like, you need glasses with blue BLOZ. Well, hey, Jamie. I didn't know you were here. I'll have to ask him about those. I need to look up when my next eye appointment is. I'm waiting to call him and go back right now because Scott accidentally left me off the dental and the vision, so we have to pay out of pocket. So I can't go until he gets hired straight on, which cross your fingers, guys, because his contract is up mid-month and the man they hired to be his boss did not get hired on after they held him on for a while. So please keep Scott in your thoughts. He really likes this place and he hopes he gets hired on, but I don't know. He's committed to it. I mean, he drives 40 minutes each way to go to this job. And I really hope, because when he gets hired straight on, if he gets hired straight on, he'll get me back on the vision and the dental. Uh-oh, I picked up some black. Not going to worry about it. I'm just going to add it in 3 other places to make it look like it was not an oopsie. And now it won't pick up any more black. Isn't that the way? That's okay. I'm going to go with that. kind of cool. I'll have to write that down. Blue BLOZ. My son has gotten glasses from Zenni Optical. I need, at one point they had me on trifocals, and I don't know if they still do or not, but progressive lenses. And the last couple times I just reused the frames I had. I have 2 pair of glasses. This one's my favorite. Scott wants me to get glasses that are visible on my face. I don't know why he wants me to, but I like the ones that look like I'm not wearing glasses. But he says, you need to get some glasses that like show up on camera. It's like, why? Why do I need glasses? All right, last one. All right, let's count up how many prompts did we do? We scraped paint, we sponged paint, we stamped with a household item, we stenciled, we did circles, and now we're making lines. So that's 6 prompts right there. I think that's pretty good for a background. I think I do want to splatter some paint, and that'll be where I end the backgrounds. And I will paint something on one of these next week with you guys. And in between, I will paint on the other 5. So you guys will see what I'm going to do or what I did. But I think I want to save just one to paint with you guys. Because when I do the painting part of it, that's what takes all the time. You know, adding the little creature or whatever I decide to do. I need to stop with this. I'm going to leave this one up here and I'll get a fan brush out. How do they do that? And see, when I use one pair, I still had to pay, even with having the insurance, I was paying like $500. So that's why we were going to go to Costco, but they said I wasn't covered under the insurance. So I said, well, I'm just going to go without. And I'll just keep going with what I have. And I did have a vision change. So it's probably not good that I'm plugging away with them. But at the time, I felt like that's what I needed to do. I'm trying to get everything back in this box. It's like it exploded. And I think I've got paint on the floor. I'm going to have to. Oh, well. It's okay. We need a fan brush and something to put this watery paint in. And all I'm going to do is splatter on these envelopes. And then we'll do the giveaway for the book I found. I have doubles of. And it's USA only, though. If you are looking for something to help you organize your space, I have a book for you. If you're not interested in it, you don't have to play. How about them apples? Yeah, this is really watery paint, but that'll be perfect. And I put way too much of it out, but I'm not going to care. It's really watery. Probably going to run. My drop paper is soaking wet. Okay. Oh, Callie, this is not a good time for you to go be nosy. Wet paint. Yes, I've moved things around. These cats are so bossy. No, 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 no. She looked at me like, don't you tell me no. Characters. That's what they are. Characters. Okay, this is the last one of the 6 to splatter. And I probably, after these have dried, I'll go in and pull something from our backgrounds. Like on this one, I'll go around all the stars to make them pop. And then I'll paint something on top of it. But I got to let all of this dry, before I do that. I don't really have anywhere to set these up where they can't get on them right now. Let me show you the book. If you're interested, you can put in a number between 1 and 100. And the first one closest but under will win. USA only. I'll show you this book. I was putting the books up and I said, oh, I already have that. So it's a book on organizing your craft space. All right. So go ahead and go. And I'll take Kathy and Janet's numbers that are already there because we're starting. So if you would like this and you're in the United States, if you're not in the United States and you want to put a number in for somebody that is in the United States, you can do that. I would love to be able to send this overseas, but I just right now financially cannot. So I'm going to keep this thing that says duplicate over here. I didn't want to set the book here. And I'll write whoever wins it on here and put it with the book. All right. There's only 26 people here. 12 for Lizzie. Okay, Janet, thank you. I'm sure Lizzie would love it. Hi, Pam. I haven't been able to go thrifting the last couple weeks, and I'm itching to go. The international postage, I just love to do my giveaways, but right now I cannot mail overseas unless it's just a letter or a postcard. I sent some postcards out today, and 3 were going overseas, and 1 is local. I mean, USA, not local, but you know what I mean. All right, is that everybody? All right, I'm going to put in a stop. Joyce got in, okay. So I'm going to put in the stop. I guess I should have picked up and got random org open. I'm just sitting down after standing up this hour. Let's do random number generator. The website page is not available. Well, oh, I am a crackhead. It's okay. Give me a minute. I forgot I had the phone in airplane mode. Boy. And it looks like Laura is opening stuff that she probably got from Temu. I went to the site and I started looking around and I said, I don't need anything else. Okay. 1 to 100. It's not going to focus on it. And I'm going to generate a number. It says 80. Who's on or under 80? Leah had 76. Anybody else closer? Leah, I think you won it. All right. And I have Leah's address, so I can send that off to you. All right. Oh, wow. Congrats to Leah. All right. So next week, we're going to paint something on whichever envelope I have remaining, and I'll share the other envelopes. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I hope everybody has a great week ahead. And I'll see you next Wednesday, if not sooner. All right. Bye, guys.